Well, I mentioned, body armor is very rare in Usagi. Like sometimes you see people in samurai armor, but that's just because of the time period. By the time the 1620s roll around, I'm guessing it's already started to happen. A lot of bodyguards will be wearing chainmail because we already have silk, so you can just like wearing chain on top of silk is not that uncomfortable. And also, a lot of people have swords, so you can wear it and not look that conspicuous. But that's not going to show up for a while. So most of you are naked. So I guess we should do a quick rundown of who we have here. And I like to go left to right in the roll 20 because it's what I'm looking at. So Avery, tell us about your character, who you are, and what your motivation is.
I am playing Suzumi, a Fox Street entertainer, and her not motto, but motivation is currently undefined.
Okay, you're just in it for the lulz, or whatever the Japanese equivalent of lulz is. All right. We also joined today. Teth, tell us about your character.
I am Byaku, the white tiger Majutsu Shi, otherwise known as a sorcerer, in the colloquial, I guess. Let me tell you about my motivation. My wife and I were attacked by a Tanuki one fateful night. My wife was murdered, and I barely escaped with my life thanks to the intervention of traveling bonds. My wife's spirit left her body, becoming a wandering Hajidama. I collected her spirit in a ceramic jug, which I keep tied to my waist. Ever since then, I have traveled to avenge my wife's murder and find a way to lay her soul to a peaceful rest. Along the way, her proximity to me seems to have unlocked some strange power that has also made me a target for other yokai as well.
Right. And you're definitely not just a crazy person who thinks they take orders from a jar on their belt.
I guess this jar could be filled with booze. I guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know. That's the adventure where you're stalked by the town drunk.
Hey, it's out of one kind of spirit to another.
There is some overlap. Speaking of overlap, Griffin, tell us about your character.
I'm playing Ganbaro the Unyielding, the rhino bounty hunter, former samurai. He's traveled along with these people, trying to do what's right for the innocent peasantry, so often beset by bandits here. And, of course, currently he's trying to bring the sword to where it belongs.
Okay. And last, we have Arcloid.
Yes, my name is Arcloid. I am playing Kazumi, the rat ninja.
What's your cover story again?
He's a street acrobat.
Right. The street acrobat. Definitely not a ninja.
Nope. Ignore all the weapons that you see dripping from his body.
Well, you have all concealable weapons, don't you?
Ninja Toe is not concealable, I don't think.
It's not as long as a katana, but it's not as short as a wakizashi. But considering it's only about a meter, you could hide it. And in fact, you're supposed to hide it because it's a ninja weapon. Anyone who sees it will know you're a ninja.
Yes.
So, yeah, all the ninja weapons are concealable in some way, except maybe the bow staff. But then again, it's a bow staff. It's like, it's a stick. Or things like the woodchopper's axe or the kama. Those are like, tools. Okay, and you're also joined by a non-player character controlled by me, the Master of Ceremonies, Koyama, who is from Kawahara's village, who was assigned to you to help. She is also a samurai, and she was assigned to help you escort the sword.
Yes, formerly untested, but now literally tested in battle right here at the bridge. And it was as injured as me.
Yeah, she looks a little harried, like, or haggard, I think is the better word, that, after having this adventure with you, when the bandits showed up. Also, I believe that she suffered an injury. Now, I was originally going to wipe the slate clean from the last fight and reset all of your story and setback points, But it's my understanding you don't want me to do that. You want this to be a longer like storyline, like a 2 or 3 part storyline.
I'd like that, yes.
Okay, so I don't have to wipe the slate clean as long as you remember what your points were from last adventure.
I still have my notes. I apparently didn't wipe them.
Okay,
I wiped them preemptively, unfortunately. However, I don't think I used any story points, so...
okay. What about how do Kazumi and Suzume feel about this?
I'm good with it. I still have my old story points up.
Would this also include keeping all impairments? Because I'm pretty sure most things were impaired for me.
It would also involve keeping your impairments, but you can get impairments cured. In fact, Avery has the ability to cure impairments.
I do.
Let's see. Actually, everybody has the ability to cure impairments. It's based on your schooling. Some of you actually have a positive schooling trait, right?
I think we all have +0.
I think we all have +0.
Hey, but you know what? I am rather unpredictable.
Yeah, right. Let's have the unpredictable guy do first aid. I can see no problem with this.
Hey,
Okay.
your broken leg is fixed.
So, Rafferty,
You're
quick
dead,
question
though.
then.
Yeah.
Since I don't remember how many setback points, how about 2? I think that seems right.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, cool. Taking them. And most things except story are impaired.
Okay, so anybody can attempt first aid. The way first aid works is you have to spend a support point, and then you can remove impairments or setback points on other people. So you spend a support point, and that removes setback. If you had Buddhism, you'd be even better at it.
How does one first aid Majutsu?
You mean your body exhaustion? I assume a lot of fluids.
We are next to a river. No, I'm fine. Keep it.
And also, what is actually impaired?
My Majutsu. You impaired my Majutsu.
Oh, your magic's actually impaired. Well, somebody would have to like remind you to meditate and consider that all life is actually an illusion, and that the true principles. I'd have to look up exactly how
Center myself.
So I don't know if the tradition of Maho as it's presented in Usagi Yojimbo, I mean, is it a Tibetan idea? Is it a Taijutsu idea?
I thought it was Chinese in origin.
Right. Well, Chinese would be, but that could still be, well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's from China, then it could have been passed from India too. So who knows?
Right. And also, like I just want to phrase, well, Tibet is China, depending on who you ask. But
or when you ask.
Right. So I'm not exactly sure, and a lot of it might just be cinematic, which is just what looks good in the story.
Right. But again, I was just asking. I'm not actually going to do it.
Yeah. So, right. They would have to, or at least say something to you that would inspire you. Like I would think in a storytelling context, you'd be walking along and thinking, I've been so exhausted that I've delved too deep in magic. And it's like, frightened me about all these spirits that are around us, the gods constantly watching. And then a support character can say, well, but you've been given this gift. You can use it to improve the world. You've already used it to help me, and you can use it to help more people. Maybe it's not a curse, but a blessing. And you think, oh, wow, that really is a morale boosting moment. Bing! I mean, that's how I would do it.
Yeah, but of course, nobody talks to me.
Meanwhile, the reality here is going to be like, Gambar's like, well, at least you didn't get shot with an arrow in the face, so you're fine. And gives you a pat on the back. Now you're good.
Did you get shot in the face?
No, actually, I think Koyama was the only one who was shot in the knee.
Yeah, she got shot.
I think I just got stabbed a bit.
She's limping along. So,
since we have that, since we're on a carry-on, I still have that +1 Koyama roll.
Right.
Sometime in the future.
So you can spend yeah, I noticed there's a typo in the book where it says you can spend setback points to remove setback points. That's a typo. It should be you spend support points to remove setback points.
Infinite removal.
Right. So yeah, so you can spend support points to heal other people, but that does have the wacky thing that I'm wondering if we should be giving out more support points, because right now you only get a support point when you spend a
It would be nice to have some sort of conditional thing where +1 support point
Yeah. So
between story points.
yeah, no. So I'm thinking about a way to buff that. So I'll be thinking about that. So, but also there could be healers in town who can deal with your impairments.
So I suppose we will finish heading towards town then.
All you have to do is survive to the next town.
Which I recall hearing was some distance away.
Yeah, says Koyama. We're gonna have to walk, and I think I'm good enough to walk, as long as someone supports me.
Oh, here, come on.
Before we skip town, can I sell the ladder that I acquired?
That's right, you have the rope ladder. That will probably be easier to fence. It's a rope ladder. You can use it as a fire escape. I live in a 1-story house. The only 3-story structure here is the palace. You could use it to flee the palace for some reason. I'm not here to ask questions. I just want 5 Rio.
Yes.
Well, Koyama, with regard to questions, you are traveling to a much larger city than the podunk town that you left. Once again, Kawahara's podunk town is only a town by virtue that it had strategic importance to control the plains and was turned into a town during the war, and then nobody left.
Well, yes, I don't feel the need for the ladder beyond as a source of temporary income, and I feel that I should probably help Byako with his Ganbaro with his monetary problems.
You're good for give me a couple extra Rio on the side, right? Well, I'm a little in dire straits. That's going to be important when we get to town.
Bandits took all our money.
All my money. Fortunately, you guys were off in the middle of the mountains.
Well, Koyama says,
get robbed.
Koyama says, well, I would have given you money, but I don't actually have any.
Well, welcome to the life of the wandering samurai.
So yes, this is the main reason I want to sell this ladder.
Well, you're going to have to be trudging along the road that you've been told is there. But some of you are impaired. I'm going to have to ask all of you to make righteousness rolls, which is your ability to keep your courage and endurance up. So it's 2d6 plus your righteousness. Does anyone have impaired righteousness?
Oh, I do.
All right, don't roll doubles.
I didn't, and I rolled okay, too.
I think everybody rolled doubles but you.
Huh. You know what?
I'm honestly a bit impressed.
I'm going to use a story point.
It's impossible to roll to the doubles and get a free.
Well, if you had a +1 or a -1. In fact, he does have a +1 to righteousness. He rolled a 2 and added 1.
Oh dear.
I am going to use a story point.
I was thinking, this will be an uneventful walk in town, and 3 of you rolled doubles.
I'm going to use a story point to get myself above a 7, but I'm also going to use my renewal. When I spend a story point, I may remove one of my impairments.
Which is the magic?
Impaired Majutsu. So I'm going to get rid of my impairment, increase my story
now
point.
Now that you have walked away from
now
that you've walked away from the river, you internalize the weird events that you have had. And you think to yourself, no, I'm pretty great.
I think to myself, what an unpredictable situation that was.
But poor Kazumi.
Yeah, no. What was it about spending a story point?
Well, the problem is if you spend a story point, that will raise you from 3 to 6. But to not fail this roll, you need a 7. Someone else could spend a support point and raise that to 7.
Okay, I will.
All right, so go ahead and spend one of your support points. Okay, so you start traveling through the rest of the countryside. This is the road that goes to the Craggy Mountains. So even though there is a bridge here, but it was built during the war and was already showing signs of disrepair. Now that you're in the Waterfall Valley itself, the road is a lot more precarious. So Kazumi will unfortunately stumble. But instead of becoming fatigued or something like that from traveling on the road to Exhaustion Palace, you'll accidentally drop your bundle and your ninja toe will spill out. And thus revealing to everyone that you're a ninja.
He just quickly tries to shove it back and like, oh, no, nothing to see here.
Kiyama,
You know the meme of like the cartoon Captain Kirk just like putting his hand over his mouth and like fake surprise. That's Gambaro's expression at this moment. It's like
there's one person who won't have fake surprise.
No.
There's one person who doesn't have fake surprise, and that's Koyama. You're a ninja! You're a spy! Who are you people? She says defensively. Who really sent you? Are you agents of the Shogun?
Aren't we technically all agents of the Shogun?
Are you agents of... Well, are you agents of some rival lord? You know, the countryside's divided up into several different daimyos, each of whom only has a tenuous alliance with the Shogun itself.
Koyama, do you not support the Shogunate?
No, I do support the Shogun, but who do you guys really work for?
Well, Koyama, let's put our heads together and do a little bit of investigative work. This person's been traveling with me, barely making any money, and hardly doing much more than attempting to fight off bandits. If my deductive reasoning is correct, he's as poor as I am, and is doing this for money. That is where his allegiance lies, isn't it? I'll just like point the finger like fake accusingly at you.
How do you respond to that, Kazumi?
Yes, you have the right of it.
Koyama is going, you truly are extraordinary individuals. I suppose the sooner I'm done with this adventure, the sooner I can go back to my boring peasant life.
I tell that to myself every now and then and realize it's just never going to end. You're lucky. You get to go home.
And Suzumi, say something supportive as you help Kazumi pick up his crap.
Well, it could also be a found weapon.
I suppose there's that, says Koyama. Now I'm confused and scared.
Don't worry about it.
Suzumi,
oh right, she does not know about Vitepo. I forgot.
Yep. Which you pointedly don't tell her about.
Yes.
Also, events happen, so weird stuff is going to happen. So, Byakko gets his magic back. That's weird. But Avery, while you're helping Kazumi pick up his crap, you also notice that someone else probably tripped earlier, where he did and spilled a bunch of stuff. It's mostly broken seashells, but you also find a Ryo coin.
Yay! I will hand it to Gun.
Oh, there you go. It's a good luck coin. You found it on the ground.
Hey, this will come in handy.
Ganbaro, in tradition, when you find something, holds it high above his head. No.
I got one coin. This will feed me for one day.
One day.
In a civilized area, not the middle of the woods.
You will have good luck. And so the rest of your travel is relatively without incident. It's a harsh road winding through, but eventually you will get out of the craggy waterfalls and into a small town known as Nikko. Or is it Nikko? It's Nikko. I assume that's Nikko.
Sounds right.
Sounds right.
Before you get to the town, you can actually hear the sound of workers, I guess, hammering nails and moving stuff. Because there's apparently this is a growth town.
Is it walled?
Somewhat. You can see signs of some walls in disrepair, but it's not clear if people are taking the walls apart to repurpose the stone or rebuilding them. It's a pretty small town, but there's a lot of people here.
Right. If they're going to be expanding, they're probably going to take down this smaller wall and maybe build a bigger one later.
As you approach the door, there will be a cat samurai retainer who is wearing the crest of Nico Village. I'm not sure what that is, but it's probably a 5.8 chrysanthemum.
It's a yarn ball, I guess.
Or a yarn ball, yes. And then he'll stop you and say, all right, have your work permits present before I let you into the city.
A permit? We're just traveling through.
Your itinerant adventurers? Guys, that's never good news. I tell you to leave, but you're a samurai.
Hey, don't worry. I'm just here to bandage up these wounds, get a drink, and then move on.
You look like...
trouble at all.
Wait, did you come from the mountain pass? Nobody uses that road. That just leads to that stupid dirt farmer town full of inbred stupid peasants.
Well, as it turns out, I have a quite the itinerary, and you see my travels led me to such a village in the middle of the woods, and it's a long story, and I don't want to bore you with it. But that's where I ended up, and that's the way I decided to go.
No, feel free to tell a long, boring story. I have to stand here and guard the gate, regardless of whether you talk or not.
Well, I'll go ahead and entertain him for a bit, then.
What abilities do you have useful in telling long, boring stories about your life?
Good question. What would actually fit? I guess that sounds like schooling, doesn't it?
A good story would be schooling. A bloviating story talking about how great you are would be righteousness.
You know what? Let's do righteousness, then.
And a story to convince him that you're somebody who should be led in the city would be negotiation.
Well, a long bloviating story about how great I am is also a convincing argument for letting me in, isn't it?
We'll see.
Let's find out.
Can I assist here?
You sure can. Every time he stumbles to say, and then I did a thing, which was you could then chime in and say, you mean drew your sword, slew all those bandits courageously by yourself, right?
Right, I wasn't thinking of myself down at all in that moment.
You may roll teamwork, which is an assist bonus.
Ooh, nice.
Well, that's a huge bonus. Would have been bigger if we hadn't spent a support point. Yeah, that's good enough for a +2, which takes you up to a 9.
Nice coming in to swoop in and save my story.
Yeah, so I guess you're going to reveal to him that you're carrying this sword, right?
You know what, I will.
Yeah, because you're a 7 to 9 range. It's kind of like he's not that impressed. Oh, wow, so you're carrying a sword. Well, don't let me keep you, he says. You should definitely go see Lord Sakata.
Absolutely. He'll certainly be interested that this thing is going through, and definitely hand out additional assistance on the way.
The attendant at his palace should let you through if you say Ichiro sent you.
Excellent.
Always good to meet someone who is quick with a sword and quick with justice in these terrible days of banditry and vileness.
We could all use a little bit more justice out here. But at least things in this village seem to be going just fine.
He rolls his eyes. This place is full of itinerant workers. Some of them are diligent and others are lazy. But shrug. It's when the shogunate says that we have to do projects to improve a place that's not that is along one of the 8 roads to the capital and so close, then it's something we actually have to do. It really weighs heavily upon my heart, though, as all these itinerants who come in here, who are day laborers, who work very quickly and then leave, answering to no one but the coin. Place is rife with criminals who would buy and sell all sorts of illicit goods. Terrible.
Truly terrible. Perhaps I should look into that while I'm here and serve out proper justice. And shake my fist in rage, and then not make eye contact with any of my companions at all.
Well, welcome to Nico Village. Nico Village is, well, it's Japan, and you're in the water basin near the waterfalls, so it's wet. Obviously, there's a lot of irrigated rice paddies that are surrounding the town itself, but it's mostly horizontal. But there are also, there's an obvious, work camp or two that is set up here.
What about hot springs?
Let's see. You would have to go looking for those. So you're not in the mountains, so probably not, but there might be baths.
We're close to the mountains.
Well, yeah, but the heat's up there.
Oh, okay.
But what's more likely are baths. Which is
where baths. Sorry, I thought you said bats. I was like, what does that have to do with?
We just heat the water ourselves, you know.
I gotcha.
All right. So I guess our first stop may very well be to bandage up a little bit.
Let's see. How do I... I'm going to push some buttons here real quick.
Oh boy, buttons.
Oh my god, what'd you do? I'm joking.
I got
the red button.
No, because what's funny is, as you go into the village, this is actually... you guys are going to laugh, because you've seen this before, but you haven't... it's more significant to modern people, which is why I thought this was kind of funny. So let's get you in here. This is the signature attraction of Nico Village.
Ooh, very neat.
Yeah, it's being restored by the many workers who are here. So, as well as they're building more shrines around it. So, in 400 years, this will be a tourist attraction.
Oh boy, I can't wait for my great descendants to come and visit this and then pay homage.
So I want you to look at that building now. I want you to imagine the roof has gone to crap, and there's a bunch of guys up there, carrying up more shingles and reshingling the roof.
Right, in construction or in repair.
Yeah, so even a casual observer such as yourself would notice the many stone lanterns and the fact that it seems like every 10th building is a shrine, which looks a little weird to you guys.
To anyone specific, or?
These are Shinto shrines.
Right, but I mean, Amaterasu or anyone specific?
Well, we gotta have a shrine to every single spirit that happens to be in the area, and it just so happens there's 150 of them.
Well,
why
don't you make a schooling roll?
I am quite unpredictable. God dang it. That's a 2!
Average.
No, that's a 2 actually, so less than average.
Those are shrines, all right.
I suppose someone else smarter wants to try.
No, I'm guessing that, places of interest to visit here. There are shrines, which might have, Buddhist priests or healers in them. You might look for a bathhouse. You might go straight to the Lord's house. You might, consort with criminals.
I go take a bath. I don't know what's going on at these shrines.
A Buddhist priest or healer in the shrines actually seems like my current ally. I need someone who won't ask for money.
All right, so you're going to go to a shrine and look for charity.
Right.
Okay, makes sense to me. And I can't see any... You're also carrying the sword, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well then obviously Koyama will go with you.
Yes, you also need to have someone take a look at that knee as well.
All right, so you guys will be there. Yeah, so they're gonna go look for a healer. That leaves what about Byaku and Kazumi and Suzume?
Baths.
Okay, so you're gonna go look for bathhouse. And what about Team Crime here?
I am definitely going to look around for places to offload stuff. Starting with the rope ladder.
Right. And what about you, Kazumi?
I guess I could help Suzume out.
Yeah, because you actually don't have any impairments. Okay, so Byaku like looks and says, "Yeah, those are shrines, all right. Nothing inside me compels me to light them on fire and watch them burn."
Those voices died a long time ago.
Unfortunately, yeah, you will find that there are at least 2 bathhouses of people saying, "Yes, you work hard. Your bones get so tense. They ache from honest labor. To the glory that is our new United Japan. You should rest in our hot springs. Our healing waters will take your pain away, rebalance your humors, align your chakras, and anything else that would help your good health. You can trust me. I'm a guy who stands outside a bathhouse yelling at people. You, sir, you look decrepit and filthy," he says, pointing at Byaku.
Why, I am. You called it correct.
It's only half a Rio.
Sure.
Yep, you'll go inside the bathhouse. Inside, it is not a very interesting affair. Like I know whenever you see these in anime, it's always like it's a little rocky grove with all this kind of stuff. No, this is a big room.
Well, those are hot springs.
Right. Well, even the ones that whenever they need it, it always looks like that. No, this is just a big room with a bunch of sweaty worker guys in it.
Perfect.
Waist deep. But yeah, but on the other hand, it is clean, warm water. You refresh yourself and you feel really good. Gambaro and Koyama go looking for a shrine. Gambaro, what skills do you have useful in looking for shrines? I'm guessing schooling would be your best bet.
Well, I actually have initiative. I could go up and ask people questions and use my eyes to look at
Why
what
don't
people
you
have and who's lined up where.
Why don't you seize the initiative and roll 2 dice for me?
Let's do it. It's a +2. I think I'll just throw a story point on top of that, so I have a support now.
Okay.
So that'll put it up to 8.
8. Okay. Well, yes. Yeah, you do some asking around. They say, well, yeah, people get injured all the time here. People falling off roofs or hitting each other with hammers, and plus also there's no occupational safety and health administration. So yeah, so you can go looking to get healed by charity, but it's on a first come first serve. Even though there's a lot of shrines here, there's a shortage of priests. There's going to be a line that you're not going to have to wait for.
Oh, if I must wait, then I shall wait.
All right. The best place to wait would, of course, be Fujisaran Shrine, which is the one I have the big picture of, because it's the biggest.
Of course.
So you can hang out there, and there'll be like some people there with like they're going to put you in the non-emergency ward. So you're in there with other people who are bandaged or hobbled, like people who fell, sprained their ankles, and that sort of thing. They're a little surprised to see a samurai in here, or 2 samurai in here. But they just kind of like look at you funny.
Hamara will do the awkward smile and wave thing to them while patiently waiting.
They'll nod and bow their heads to you and ask questions like, so, or we don't get a lot of samurai in here. Did you come from the West Road? It's infested with bandits. Did you kill a bunch of bandits?
Indeed.
Hooray!
Koyama and I here stood our ground bravely and boldly.
Koyama will just like not use this attention. We'll just kind of like nod. Hooray! If we can get the West Road working again, then we could like bring our supplies through a shorter passage. And like I said, it's not shorter. You have to go up and then down. You're an idiot. I'm not an idiot. Just because I ran this nail through my hand, that's an accident anyone could have done. Yeah, but you smile like an idiot. I can't stop smiling. That's the tetanus. They make polite conversation after you say that you killed some bandits. They kind of like you a little bit, but you only have a middling roll, so they don't have much interesting things to say.
Right. I'd like do basic interrogation of their work, and they're just like, well, you get up, you hammer stuff, you're done.
Yeah. Well, the trick is hammering in the right order. The nail that sticks out gets pounded. Meanwhile, Kazumi and Suzume, you wander a little further away from the construction itself, and there is a work camp. And of course, as a work camp, there's also work followers. There are people who claim to be workers. There's gambling going on, mostly die rolling. It's even or odds type stuff. You go to the part of the town where everything is, the disreputable part of Nico Village, and there are many rough and tough customers here. But some of them might actually be high rollers. What skills do you have useful in spotting the high rollers?
Let me see.
Well, negotiation or initiative?
Either of those would work. Initiative would be passively looking around for clues, but negotiation would be talking to the locals and asking them.
I will negotiate then.
Okay.
And I will be using initiative.
Okay, so and there is an assist rule in the game, so you can actually assist her negotiation. You would roll your negotiation. And if you roll 7 or better, you give them +1.
Well, I have a +0.
Yeah, well, don't roll doubles. You want to try it?
All right. Again, I rolled 3.
Yep. Poor Kazumi. So the two of you will be asking around, like questions about like, hey, I need to sell like some things. Like, what kind of things? Well, I don't want to tell you what kind of things, because I assume you're kind of cagey about it as you size people up. Mostly you run into a lot of small petty and gambling. There's you run into like really like skeevy looking types and say, sure, I can buy a bunch of things. Why don't you come back with me in this alleyway that doesn't have any escape routes?
I mean, I am not going to be very cagey about the fact that I want to sell a ladder.
All right. So yeah. But yeah, somebody tips you off and saying like, well, I don't buy a lot of that stuff. You probably want to talk to Boss Mori. That's Mori, the boss.
Where can I find him?
Well, he's not in this dirt. He's not out here in the open. He's over there in that nice inn over there because he, if there's any book that gets made in this town, he gets a piece of it. So he'd be the only one with any money. I don't have any money, but I've got my last coin, and I'm going to bet it on this game. I've been losing 18 times in a row, but the 19th time I'm sure is going to be a win.
Have you ever heard about sunk cost fallacy?
Those are sure a lot of big words.
Time for an upfront demonstration.
Yes.
Do you stay to help this stupid gambler, or do you go to sell your crap?
I am going to sell my crap.
Okay. When you get to the inn, there is a large Ronin samurai standing outside of it, a bear type guy. And he has like a ragged outfit that's seen better days. He looks the two of you and sizes you up, but he doesn't stop from letting you guys go inside.
I will politely bow to him.
He will grunt non-committally. Something about his demeanor makes you think he, despite the fact that he looks stone-faced, he might be letting on. He might. Something about the way he looks makes you think he knows a little bit more than he's letting on. He doesn't seem to trust you, but he lets you in.
I am assuming that he is the bouncer here.
That's what it looks like. Inside the inn, these people are better dressed than the workers outside and apparently have money. You've seen these kinds of things before. We don't call them yakuzas yet. I don't think the fraternal order societies, technically, yakuza belong to fraternal order societies, and they trace their origins back hundreds of years, but they're mostly the Meiji era. So this is what we would call a gang of criminals. They, like I said, they get a piece of all the bookmaking in the city, and they're chatting it up, and the sake is flowing freely. You can identify who Mori is. He is the rodent guy who is sitting in the best seat of the house. I guess you can wade through the crowd and introduce yourselves to him.
That seems to be prudent, yes.
Out of towners, eh? You came to the right place. And the lords may think they run things with their big fancy shrines and big fancy outfits and that kind of thing. But down here with the people, the salt of the earth, that's, we have to look out for each other. Isn't that right? And everyone goes, yes, boss guy. We agree with everything you say. So tell me, who are you, handsome strangers?
I am Suzumi, and I am traveling through this town, and I have some items that I could part with for a good coin.
Wow, you do all the speaking in the house. You have your husband there on a short leash, I see, he says, pointing at Kazumi.
He is merely a co-worker.
Yeah, co-worker. All right.
Yes, that is indeed all it is.
Well, I didn't get to where I am by being so proud as to turn down random loot from people, and you look like a person of discernment, so you wouldn't waste my time. Let's see what you've got. Wow, you're actually not on any of my books, are you? So, sorry, he's going to turn to one of his henchmen and, I got a person by the side and like make some whispering noises to them and say, so you're just here actually to sell stuff. You're not here to trade stuff to get rid of your gambling debts. I run honest gambling debts. Not like those other gambling debts.
I wouldn't have any doubt.
Okay, so you're going to show him like the rope ladder and I guess other odds and ends that you've scavenged?
Yes. For now, I am not sure about the gun, so not yet.
Well, he's going to look over all of that and says, I like that you have good sales technique. A lot of random people come in here and immediately try to show me family jewels or something that they like nab from one of these shrines, something like that, and remove it. And you're opening with the soft sell where you're opening with the low stuff. So why don't, you take that big bundle off of your back and show us the real merchandise?
All right, I will do so.
He's going to see you start unwrapping it, and then he's going to say, wait, whoa, stop. Guys, you need to keep talking in here. Me and my friend here need some privacy, and I have a special room in the back. Why don't you come with me?
All right.
And just you. Why don't you stay out here and free drinks for Kazumo here?
That is much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. So, yep, here's some sake. The humble innkeeper serves you sake with that look of nervousness on, but also that smile on his face. That's like, oh yeah, criminals in my establishment. Yeah, could kill me at any time, but the money's still flowing. Here you go. Please don't kill me and walk away. I can see no problem with Suzume being shown in the room with a dangerous criminal. And when you get in the room, there's also a large hulking henchman in here.
Yeah.
Okay. They will slide. This has a paper door, which they will slide shut. Obviously, nothing. That's a paper door. That's the impenetrable barrier.
Yes.
And he says, wow, he, Mori is just gonna go, wow, how did somebody like you get a hold of something as forbidden as this?
Well, let's say I was lucky once.
Everybody's lucky once. So just luck, huh? I'm a little worried that maybe your luck might have run out. What skills or abilities do you have to bear to convince Mori to give you a fair deal for this?
Negotiation.
That would probably be the best. Why don't you roll that? Mori is a strong customer.
And I will spend 1 point.
Before you spend, why is that 3 dice?
Because I have worldly.
Oh, right. Well, before you do that, do you have anything? Do you have any replays like urban replay or anything like that?
I have bluffing replay and entertain replay.
Well, you could try to lie about your superior situation and re-roll that before you.
Okay.
So I was gonna, that's a pretty crappy roll. So I would say, all right, so make up a lie and re-roll.
Okay. My lie will be that I travel with a group of very powerful samurai.
That's a lie, all right. Okay, go ahead and re-roll. It's almost always worth using the re-roll if your roll is crappy. Well, that's better. Okay, so that's 7, which would get you a crappy deal. Now, if you spend the story point, you can raise it to 10 and get a good deal.
And yes, I will do so.
All right, so you just make up lies, and they're looking at sizing you up. You're like, somebody tough. I don't know. Well, look, I know we don't want to know where you got it from, but we could definitely use this for our endeavors. He's going to turn around and say, give her what she wants. I haven't done a lot of research on how much money is because money doesn't show up a lot, but they will pay you a large sum of money, like a large sum of Rio. But you have to throw in the rope. You have to throw in the rope ladder too.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so I would say it's like 100 Rios. Don't spend it all in one place.
Definitely not.
Unless you want to come to one of our gambling dens.
We don't have much time, so I will politely decline.
Okay, so and then you'll head out. You can see that they're plying Kazumi with a large amount of sake, perhaps an unreasonable amount. Kazumi, what's your righteousness?
0.
Why don't you make a roll to see if they can overwhelm your righteousness and make you drunk? You are just not the good roller today, are you?
No. Goodness gracious.
Okay, so Kazumi apparently is a lightweight. Kazumi, I'm going to impair your initiative. Your initiative is now impaired because you were drunk.
What does that do?
That means if you roll doubles on an initiative roll, something bad happens.
Okay, so I'll just put a note next to my thing that
Right.
says it's impaired.
And also, if all of your stats become impaired, if all 4 of your stats and your combat stat and setback stat become impaired, and your career stat, if all 7 stats become impaired, you pass out. So it's just you're drunk. But yeah, I assume you guys leave unless you want to stay here and hang out with criminals.
Let's stay here, guys.
Yeah, Suzume, you got a problem. Suzume has a problem that Kazumi is partying. What skills do you or abilities do you have useful in removing Kazumi from a party?
Well, I could negotiate with him.
Okay, give it a shot. Say something like we have to leave or something.
I am not good at this kind of negotiation, pretty clear.
Nope, Kazumi still wants to get drunk. But Kazumi, you're a character with free will, so you could reluctantly choose to leave or stay here and party with your new friends.
His friends are ready to go. It's time to get up.
All right. So, embarrassingly, I guess Suzumi has to carry Kazumi out of the place.
Oh, well, that's a burden I must bear.
All right. So the two of you start heading through the streets. It's starting to get dark. And you're in the bad part of town. Meanwhile, in the better part of town, Gambaru and Koyama, some of the doctor learned people will come look at you and say, well, those samurai. Well, I guess the master saw you earlier, but you've suffered wounds. Tell us about the bandits and how you bravely vanquished them.
You see, it was a narrow bridge, and we stood our ground. And I will weave the story again, as I have been doing basically all day at this point, just self-congratulating myself and Koyama.
Okay, well, you need to overcome your injuries. I would like you to make a righteousness roll.
All right. That's only +1. Hey, it's an 8.
All right, I will remove 2 of your impairments.
Which ones?
Which ones do you want removed?
Tell you what, I'll go ahead and take righteousness and initiative.
All right, so they bind you up. So yeah, you're feeling a little bit better. You're gonna keep all the setback points though.
Of course. I will thank them profusely and offer the meager donation that I can of a single ryu.
Oh, well, they'll take it, naturally. They'll say, we're happy to hear that someone's doing with the bandits. You think that with this like village being so important to the Shogun, that they're willing to spend all these funds to rebuild the shrine, that they would do something about the hills. But I guess since people take the main road and not that backwater road. Plus, also, we know that everybody from that fort town is a bunch of, like, inbred hicks.
Well, I suppose once the city grows and has a larger contingent to it, perhaps the roads could be patrolled more heavily.
We have trust in the Emperor and the Shogun that they will somehow do something for us. But I'm supposed to be removed from all worldly affairs, so I'm going to go treat some other people.
Of course. And I think it would be time for Koyama and I to go talk to the Lord.
All right, so you guys will go off to seek the Lord. Byako, you relax in the hot springs. You actually don't have any injuries, do you?
Nope. Well, I mean, I'm not unless the setbacks count for injuries as well.
Nope, the setback is just mounting exhaustion.
All right, then nope. I'm good.
All right, you look clean. You look cleaner, and you've absorbed water. You are bigger than before.
I shake it off.
The three of you will join up while these two are like indisposed outside of town. Now this is a proper town, so the Lord himself has a proper manor house, the kind that you usually see with the big rectangular structure and the nightingale floors and that kind of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the two of you go to the door. I assume you give Ichiro's name and they let you in.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And yes, you will remove your. Actually, I don't think people are wearing wooden sandals a lot in Usagi.
No.
I guess
well,
Geisha are pretty rare.
What are the elevated sandals?
Those are the Geisha.
Yeah, I mean I've seen them.
Yeah, but they show up in like I'm guessing they're luxury footwear because you don't see them a lot. They show up, but you don't see them a lot. I guess you guys
are they? Okay, I didn't know that they were luxury items.
I'm guessing because they don't show up a lot. I'm guessing they're expensive to make.
They definitely seem more like indoor shoes than like rough traveling wear.
Oh, don't wear them indoors.
but
That's impolite.
yes,
That is a faux pas.
you will be shown before the canine Lord Sakata. And he will make proper formal introductions to you guys. He looks he's a samurai who is schooled in the old traditions and probably was loyal to Tokugawa, and he'll try to engage you guys in pleasantries. Do any of you have the proper schooling to conduct yourselves with good etiquette?
I'm pretty sure I think I do.
Go ahead and give it a try then.
Go ahead and give it a try.
Most
You
honorable.
unpredictable bastard, you.
Yeah.
I don't do pleasantries so much as talk about my wonderful exploits.
Oh,
Yeah.
most honorable lord. Have I ever talked to you about things that you're interested in, maybe? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Let's see. Wait, why does it say 7?
Because it is a 7.
It's a 7. Well,
Oftentimes, 3 plus 4 equals 7.
my bad. Sorry, I flaked out here for a moment.
I know, you're used to me rolling negative zeros.
I'm used to you rolling 0s or 18s because you are unpredictable. But today, you really comport yourself in a boorish manner, which is fine because I don't expect much of peasants.
I am predictably a peasant.
So, you've come all this way to visit me and bring me something. I'm extremely confused why you would do this. I believe that that you must be confused or misled because I'm not expecting any packages.
Just to clarify, this sword wasn't going here, it was going further afield, right?
No, it's going here.
Oh, okay. Then yes, in fact, I will go ahead and take out the box and bring it up to him and say, I have traveled the final measure of this sword's journey to bring it here to its rightful place.
Well, this can't be true at all, he says, looking at this sword. This must be some sort of forgery. The Umaba no Kata sword was delivered here, weeks ago, and has already been put up at the shrine. What you have here is some sort of elaborate fake. You're trying to play me false.
Why would we give you something for free to play you?
I can understand perhaps your reluctance because of this other sword. I was not aware that